Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Thursday, November 24, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Ole Miss Rebels vs Mississippi State Bulldogs. Last week, they beat up on FCS East Tennessee State 56-7 at home. The Bulldogs jumped out to a 35-0 lead in the first half and never looked back. Will Rogers completed 30 of 37 for 301 yards with 5 TDs. They held Etsu to just 11 first downs and 154 yards of total offense. The Mississippi State defense has not been great, but they do have a great player in cornerback Emmanuel Forbes, who had his 6th pick 6 of his career after getting another against Etsu for 82 yards. Overall, the defense is allowing 352.5 yards per game, 39th, and just 202.2 passing yards, 34th. The run defense, 150.3 will be tested in this one. But when you look at stopping teams, they allowed 45 points to Georgia, 30 to Alabama, and 27 to an average Kentucky defense. The offense is led by Rogers, who is completing 67.9% of his passes for 3,463 yards, with 32 TDs and 5 picks. Like most Mike Leach offenses, they don't run much as they are averaging 78.2 rushing yards, 129th, per contest. You also have to wonder if those rumors that Kiffin has denied are a distraction to his Ole Miss team, who has lost 2 straight and 3 of 4. They fell at Arkansas 42-27 last week after losing to Alabama at home by just 6, 30-24, as a 10.5-point dog. The Rebels' offense showed up, amassing 463 rushing yards and 240 passing yards, but they also turned the ball over 3 times. All those turnovers and a leady run defense led the way for Arkansas to take a 35-6 lead at the half and held on for the 15-point win. Raheem Sanders had 232 yards with 3 TDs for the Razorbacks. For Ole Miss to be successful, they have to play better defense. The good news is that their terrible run defense, 90th, won't matter much in this game because the Bulldogs love to throw. The Rebels do have the 3rd-ranked rushing offense, 278.3 in the nation. Quinshon Judkins have an outstanding season with 1,385 yards and 16 TDs, 6 Ole Miss is the better football team, and in the 60-degree weather with a strong chance of rain, running the football is going to be important. Mississippi State is a pass-first, pass-second team. They rank 70th against the run, and that's not a good sign when you face Judkins and the Rebels' dominant rushing game. Ole Miss has lost 3 of 4 games, but they came to Alabama, LSU on the road and Arkansas on the road. Mississippi State hasn't won a road game since beating Arizona on September 10th, take Ole Miss -2 points. The Mississippi State Bulldogs have been fantastic for the most part in 2022, suffering 4 losses, 3 of those coming against the number 8, number 6 and number 1 ranked teams in the country, and now, they'll take on the Rebels with a chance to jump to 3rd place in the SEC West standings. When coming off a big offensive performance, the Bulldogs have shown an ability to build momentum, with a 6-1 record ATS in their past 7 games, following scoring 40 points or more, and after a big 56-point outburst against East Tennessee State, they've got the chance to finish their season on a high note. Despite all of the talent, the Bulldogs are just 1-4 in their past 5 road games, but this isn't a normal road game, with the biggest rivalry in all of college football, and if their best defense can turn up, they've got a good chance of pulling off a big upset. The Ole Miss Rebels started off the 2022 season hot with an 8-1 record, but after a loss to the number 8 ranked Alabama and the unranked Arkansas Razorbacks, they stand just one game away from a somewhat disappointing end to this season. The Mississippi State Bulldogs come into this game scoring nearly 34 points per game, and they do most of the damage through the air. Mississippi State is averaging over 321 yards per game, and they are going to take plenty of deep shots in this one. Quarterback Will Rogers has thrown 32 touchdown passes to just 5 interceptions, and he is going to be a big key in this game. The Bulldogs do need to find a way to have more balance on offense, but it starts with the quarterback. Mississippi State had a good performance on defense in their most recent game, but that hasn't always been the case. Ole Miss is averaging over 500 yards of total offense per game, and they are much more balanced than the Bulldogs. Quarterback Jackson Dart has been a star for the Rebels, throwing 16 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions. This team has to find a way to be better defensively, as they are giving up big plays over the last month. Ole Miss has given up at least 34 points in 5 straight games, and that just puts too much pressure on the defense. This will be a game in which they want to take their shots on offense, but they don't want it to be a track meet. The Rebels are 5-1 at TS following an ATS loss, in which they've had 2 in as many weeks, which is a good sign they can bounce back in this big rivalry game, but at home, they've struggled in recent times, holding a 2-6 at TS record in their last 8 home games, so if they want to finish the season strong, they'll need their entire team to step up and stop the losing skid they've seen in the past 2 weeks. The Ole Miss Rebels have lost 3 of their previous 4 games and are no longer in the picture for a spot in the SEC Conference Championship game. On Saturday, Ole Miss trailed by 29 points at halftime during a 42-27 road loss against Arkansas. The Rebels, 8-3, rolled up 703 yards of total offense, but turned the ball over 3 times in defeat. Freshman sensation Quinton Jenkins carried 24 times for 214 yards and a 1-yard touchdown run. Ole Miss RB's Zach Evans added 207 rushing yards on just 17 attempts. Jackson Dart threw for 240 yards and added 44 more on the ground for the Rebels. While both of these teams have put up big numbers against lesser competition, when playing talented teams, the defense takes over, so now in a big rivalry game, the fans should expect no different, as this one should become a grind, with big plays few and far between. The under is 16-5 in the last 21 matchups of the Egg Bowl, including an 8-2 mark in the past 8 games at Ole Miss, and for each individual team, the under is 5-0 for the Bulldogs in their last 5 games on the road, while the Rebels have a 4-0 mark for the under in their past 4 games at home against teams with a winning record, meaning that whichever offense can step up when it matters most will take this one. Take the under, 63.5 points.